Welcome back, everybody. We're episode 13, Popping Culture Podcast. I'm Adrian.
I'm Jay.
And we are brought to you in a very, very special way today in lethargic vision. Some of you may have remembered in our first couple podcasts, we made the decision of eating heavy junk food before, and we swore never again. Isn't that right, Jay?
I remember us saying that. I think there's video evidence of it.
There is video evidence of it. And after our beer today, what did we decide to eat?
Well, you asked me what I want to eat. I'm like, probably just something quick and cheap. I had lunch a few hours ago. Mm-hmm. So you're like, oh, cool, let's go get a Hawks box.
A Hawks box.
For those of you that aren't familiar with the Hawks box, apparently McDonald's is doing this sort of thing for a lot of different major sports teams around the country. Being that the Seahawks are kind of the big sports team around here right now because they're the only ones that are male sports.
Please refer to them as the Super Bowl champions, Seahawks.
Once they prove that they deserve that title this year.
Oh, no, they're not going to get it.
No. Anyway, so it's a box. You order it. It's like $15.
Yeah.
It's got 2 Big Macs, 2 10-piece chicken McNuggets, and 2 large fries. So we split it, and we're like, it's not going to be that bad. It was that bad. I mean, the food was good, but it was a lot of food.
It's at the point where I only want to drink maybe 3 beers and take a nap instead of drinking 4 and going to sleep.
Yeah.
So we're going to get through it.
We are.
Slowly.
Speaking of beer, though.
Oh, yeah. Hey, speaking of beer.
For this week, and this week only.
What do we got, buddy?
This is, they call it the VIP. It's made by Hop Valley Brewing.
See? Lethargic vision. Yeah.
I blame that on that extra piece of bread in the Big Mac. Why?
I took mine out.
I know you did. So VIP, it's a vanilla-infused porter. Again,
sorry, who is it by again?
Hop Valley Brewing Company.
There it is.
Out of Eugene, Oregon, which I didn't realize that Eugene's considered Hop Valley. But
Are they? Because I thought a lot of it came from the other side of the Washington Mountains and the Cascade.
Yeah.
Okay.
But apparently, I don't know.
Hey, Hop Valley's a good name.
Cool.
Let it go.
It's 50 IBUs, whatever that means. International Beer Units? I don't know. It's a measurement of something. So anyways, it's a porter. They take their porter, they throw some vanilla beans in there when it's conditioning, and bittersweet chocolate notes and a well-rounded finish. Let's put that to the test.
Let's find out if that's true or not. So while I'm pouring this, why don't you go ahead and finish off what happened with the rest of that chili cider, buddy? Because they need to know what you did.
So you may remember last week we featured a chili cider, which I thought was awesome. Adrian thought it was the opposite of awesome. Mm-hmm. So I took the rest of it home. I ended up drinking that. Was that last night? I sent you a text when I was drinking it.
It was Monday night.
Monday night. So I'm drinking it home Monday night. I sent Adrian a message. I'm like, hey, I'm drinking the rest of that chili cider, and it's just as awesome it was the other day. The other half of that story is when we went to Boise.
Oh, no, hold on. What did you finish it off with?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, sorry. My apologies.
So when we went to Boise a couple weeks ago for Tree City Comic Con, on our way back, we stopped in one of the only towns between here and Boise. That was a weird trip. We stopped in a Safeway, and Adrian's like, hey, I'm going to grab some beef jerky.
Oh, God.
So I'm in line ordering some coffee. He's off in the rest of the store. He comes back with this jerky. He's like, I'm just going to open it up and eat it now. So he opens it, and it's Crave is the brand, which is supposed to be kind of a good jerky brand.
It gets very good reviews.
Yeah. So he opens up, he takes a bite, and then he turns and spits in the garbage can. And he looks at the package, and he's like, this is sweet teriyaki pork jerky.
The pork portion was not really easily read. It just said sweet teriyaki.
Yeah. No, if you look at the package, go on the Crave website. You'll see the package. You'll see what we mean. Again, I didn't think it was terrible. I mean, obviously, there's other jerkies I would definitely pick before that one, but I didn't think it was terrible. So he gave me the rest of that on our way back from Boise also. So I'm sitting there Monday night drinking the chili cider with the pork jerky. And I told him, I'm like, this actually goes pretty good with the pork jerky.
It was It was all the bad things from our road trip. All you're missing was that bacon pork peanut brittle, and it would have made that.
Actually, that probably would have been pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually some still left in the server room.
I don't doubt that.
Take that home.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so as far as the VIP, Is this a very important porter?
It's definitely vanilla infused
Oh,
porter
that is
for
very,
sure.
very sweet.
Yeah. So it's very sweet. The initial flavor is very sweet. There's a hint of vanilla. The aftertaste, pure bitter.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Have we? I don't know that have we had a porter on the show yet?
I want to say
may have.
yes.
So for those of you that aren't familiar with porters, porter is my favorite style of beer. It is typically a very, it's a dark, very full beer. It's the kind of thing that you get one and you sit there and you sip on it. You can have a porter and replace your meal if you really wanted to.
Sure.
So this, think of like a dark, very chocolatey drink that's just got like 18 pumps of vanilla syrup in it.
You sure it's not 19?
Could be. Yeah.
Yep.
This would be a very good, I just had dinner and now I want some dessert beer.
Yeah, and the aftertaste is what's throwing me. 'Cause it's lighter than most porters, which I'm okay with. It's that weird, bitter aftertaste I wasn't expecting. All in all, I'm still looking at an improvement from last week, so don't look for me to pour any of mine into your glass this
No,
time.
it's fine.
No?
I'm also very intrigued. This is a very interesting label. I've noticed that a lot of these microbreweries now are coming out with very graphic design infused labels. It's not just, this is my company. Like if you look at a Budweiser bottle,
Sure.
nothing interesting about that label. This one, they've got some weird crisscross action going on here. Yeah, I don't know.
But let's be fair, it did its job. While we were shopping for beer,
It stood out.
It stood out, and you're like, let's try that.
Yeah. So,
Which next week we're totally trying that ESB because that is my favorite beer, and it looked delicious.
okay, fair enough.
All right.
So yeah, we recommend this one.
Wow. There are better porters,
Oh no,
but for the price, I'm very pleased for
Yeah.
what we paid for that.
No, I definitely have my list of my top porters. This would probably not be in the top 5, but it's not something I would turn down.
No. I'd be fine with it. I'd be interested to see it in a draft because then it's usually a little bit heavier.
Right.
And I might be interested in that.
Now, a Deschutes Black Butte Porter, I will turn that down. That is not my business right there.
Interesting. Have you had the Mac and Jack's porter?
I have, yes.
That's
because
delicious.
we
Yes, that's
know
right.
somebody.
Yes. Well, didn't you also go to the Mac and Jack's tasting with me at Special Brews?
No, that was. You went to that one, and that's when you told me about the tastings. That's before I went there.
I guess I just picture you always being there with me, just like right there eating pub mix.
Yeah,
Okay.
with the rye chips.
With the rye chips.
rye chips.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, we know someone at Mac and Jack's.
Well, they used to be there.
Yeah.
He's now in Montana. But yeah, one of
Kids these days.
the trips that we did, one of the conventions we went to, he brought a couple growlers, and the porter was one of them. Which, to be fair, I prefer their porter much better than their African amber that everybody seems to love.
So, for those of you who aren't in the area, Mac and Jack's makes a beer, African Amber. No, not actually. I would say not a lot of people know it's called African Amber. They just know it's called Mac and Jack's.
Yeah, people. It's ubiquitous. It's like Kleenex.
Yep. All their other beers are not. They don't bottle any of their beers, and they're all only in draft. And all of them, but the African Amber, can only get. See, that's a lethargic vision again.
There it is.
Can only get purchased at the brewery.
Yeah, you have to go to the brewery to get them. The Mac and Jack is on tap damn near everywhere around here, though.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't want an IPA. I don't want a water beer. Give me a Mac and Jack."
Give me a Mac and Jack's.
And they think they're cool for it, and you're not.
It is not my go-to beer. It is my second go-to beer if I go to a bar and they don't have anything else I like.
Okay.
My first is a Manny's.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Oh, thanks for your approval, buddy. Speaking of approval, I'm going to give my 2 thumbs up approval to the new episode of Flash.
Okay.
Have you watched it?
I have not watched it yet.
All right.
It was on last night.
It was
Sorry.
on last night.
I was in class last night.
That's fair. That's right. I apologize. That gets my thumbs up. Arrow gets my thumbs down. I'm not going to do it.
Really?
Not going to do it. Nope. Anyways, let's talk about good. Let's talk about Flash.
Okay.
Flash brings up 2 topics I want to talk about. One of them is going to be Steve Amell's comments towards the Flash.
Right.
First, let's talk about Flash itself.
Okay.
It's definitely a CW show.
Absolutely.
It's But
it's got teen drama in and out.
It is oozing teen drama. If I was a 17-year-old girl, I'd have like Grant's Tiger beat up in my bedroom right now.
Wow, that's a timely reference. Tiger beat.
Is that still not a thing?
I don't know. It might be.
It has to still be a thing.
It's an e-magazine now.
Yeah, it's
an app.
I have the new Tiger Beat app. Thumbs up. Date him. That's their notification.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. That's it.
So where we're at now, we know Harrison Wells comes from the future or is very aware of the future. He's not wheelchair bound. The Flash has been known as the Streak. He finally gets called the Flash, and he finally breaks the sonic boom this episode. He's getting really.
So I'm sorry. Wait, Giles in this episode, right?
Really? I can't make a Tiger Beat comment, but you're cool with going with Street Fighter?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Van Damme.
Yeah,
Come on.
that's fair. No, Van Damme was the worst.
I know.
Anyway, so he breaks the sonic boom barrier. The Flash is creating, not Barry Allen, but the Flash is making a relationship with Iris West, which I think is really interesting because she's now blogging not just about him, but about all the other metahumans that are around. The one thing I thought was really interesting is Harrison Wells and Joe, Iris's dad, are talking about the murder of Barry's mom.
Okay.
And how they want to start solving this. So what happens is, while Joe, the very end of the episode, the Reverse Flash shows up, steals all of the case files and bolts.
Oh, no.
And then leaves a threat to Joe, stop or else, and it's a photo of Iris with a knife through it.
Oh.
So which leads me to think Harrison Wells, they're going to try to throw a cliffhanger and make Harrison Wells a Reverse Flash instead of Eddie Thawne.
Okay.
Because right now, he's not showing anything that would make us suspect that. So either Harrison Wells is a red herring and he's working with Eddie Thawne, who is the Reverse Flash, or they're going to really put some balls on it and make Harrison Wells the Reverse Flash and Eddie Thawne's the red herring.
Okay.
Either way, I like that I don't know.
Right.
I think that's good on them because I don't want to say I'm sick of TV shows where I'm all like, oh, I know who that is. Like, I knew in advance.
Right. When you get all the facts up front and then you just have to wait for it to play out. Yeah.
So I like that right now I'm in this limbo mode. I'm enjoying it, and I am liking The Flash. What I'm not liking is Steve Amell's comments about the news about The Flash.
Okay.
Now, do you know what I'm talking about?
I've seen the news stories. I haven't seen his specific comments. I know that there's been a lot of people that didn't take kindly to it.
Nope. And I was one of those people.
Okay. So what did he say?
So essentially, they announced The Flash for the movie universe.
Right.
Okay. And it's big news because the person who's playing The Flash is an openly gay person.
Right. Yeah.
And everyone's making a big whoop because it's the first openly gay person in the superhero movies. Which, okay, it's not news for me, or it's not. It's
No.
neither here nor there. But Steve Amell really came down on Warner Brothers and everybody else for how that was a slap in the face to Grant, how that wasn't okay because, he's just trying to make a name for himself and he wasn't even considered, and now you're just confusing people. Like, just this bitch fest that it's not Grant and how wrong that is. And I don't get why that's wrong. Like, the movie universe is completely different from the TV universe.
Yes.
Like, no, like, even hesitation. They're not trying to marry those universes.
You and I know this.
Right.
To somebody who may be more of a casual spectator than you and I, they may not be aware of that.
And that's my point. If you're a casual spectator and Grant's in the Flash TV show and the Flash movie is the Flash, but they're not supposed to be the same Flash, that's fucking confusing.
Okay.
Meanwhile, if it's two different people, you, even as a casual consumer, know that there's a difference.
Well, see, I think this is really a place where DC could have tied their movie, and I know that they've been resistant to it, but it would have been a place where they could have.
They can't.
Why can't they?
Because then how are you going to explain Flash being the Flash, knowing Batman and all these characters that can't be brought in the TV shows? You can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Like, unfortunately, DC has to jump through some hurdles when using characters.
Right.
With Bob Kane, the Schuster family, all that kind of stuff. They have to jump through certain hurdles to use certain characters, especially in conjunction together.
Okay.
It's not like your Marvel, where Stan Lee signed everything over to Marvel so they can free reign everything they want.
Right.
So they can't. It's why Bruce Wayne was never in Smallville. It's why Batman was never in Smallville.
Yeah.
And when it went to the print version, suddenly Hal Jordan showed up and Bruce Wayne showed up, all that stuff, because then it's no longer in that realm.
Right. Okay.
So they have to keep them separate. And I feel like if you work for DC and that's who's making your money, maybe don't make asshole comments.
All right. Yeah.
Like, and you know what? It wasn't that big of an asshole comment. Like, I'm kind of on Stephen Amell right now, so maybe a little hard. But, like, don't bite the hand that feeds you kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Like, these guys are trying to make a successful franchise. Flash is being successful. Maybe just let them go at it. You know, like, unfortunately, the article I read didn't say what preempted the question, so maybe the moderator asked. I don't know. I just think that's not the best way to go about business.
Right.
So that's my miniature rant on that.
Now, is that what made you decide you don't want to watch Arrow?
No.
Okay.
I will tell you that off air.
Okay.
That is not a story to share for public.
Oh.
Sorry, guys. That is it's an industry kind of thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So, TV for you.
So, were you going to say something?
No, I just went,
okay.
because,
So-
lethargic vision.
Right. You can rest now.
Okay.
So,
Hoxbox.
So I watched this thing that is about a DC character, but is no way affiliated with the DC or Warner Brothers at all.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Take a drink of your beer and think vanilla Coke. It's alcoholic vanilla Coke.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
Carry
you're
on.
good.
Yeah, thanks.
So for years, there's been fan-made films and books and things like that. And I stumbled across this thing which I've known about it for a bit. I just never got around to watching it. And that is a fan-made Nightwing web series.
Not to be confused with the one that came out a couple years ago called
It's
Grayson.
not Grayson Year One.
Thank you.
Which I also enjoyed.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Nightwing the series. It's only 5 episodes. It's up on YouTube, and each episode is somewhere between like 8 and 15 minutes. So really easy. I literally sat down and I was in an hour. I watched all of it. I thought for a fan-made film or show or whatever, this was done really, really well.
The production value was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, you look at it. I think they were probably using not a red camera, but maybe like a step below that.
Okay.
It looked like something that would be on TV right now. Lighting was good. The costumes I thought were really good.
Yeah.
The acting
Left a little to be desired.
and like I said, a lot of it got better towards episode like 4
Okay.
for certain characters. That was not the case for certain other characters.
So Deathstroke didn't improve.
No, Deathstroke wasn't bad.
Okay.
Did you? Well, you said you only saw the first
I've
episode.
only seen the first one so far.
Was Deathstroke in the first one? I thought he came in the second one.
No, man.
It all kind of blended
No,
together.
he like right away at the politician ball and killing the politician.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how it started the whole
Yeah,
series.
he gets better.
Okay, good.
The fight scenes are really well choreographed between Nightwing and Deathstroke. And one weird thing I had was at that ball, why was every waiter all of a sudden a kung fu master?
Okay.
Or was that supposed to be security?
I think they were security.
Okay.
Like I saw that and I wasn't like, oh, that's a waiter. I saw that I'm like, that's Secret Service. He's a high-ranking politician.
It came off weird to me. But anyways, so yeah, no, I thought it was really good. You get to see, like you mentioned, Deathstroke's in there, Nightwing's in there. There is a Bruce Wayne character, not Batman, but Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
You have Barbara Gordon, who starts out as Barbara Gordon and then turns into Oracle.
Ooh, so they skipped Frat Girl altogether.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. And you even see at the very last episode, Jason Todd, Red Hood.
So I saw that in the promo images.
Yeah.
Because I know they're going to keep going.
Yeah. This is considered season 1.
Okay.
And they'll do another season. And I think the episode 5 just came out within the last month. So,
Awesome.
but I thought it was really good, like I said, for a web series, especially because I've seen some of these other fan-made web series. Like there's a, I'm trying to remember what they call it, Batgirl Spoiler or something like that. One where it's Stephanie Brown, Batgirl, and it's not good at all.
So I'm fortunate in never seeing that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's real bad. But no, I thought it was really good. We'll have a lower third up here at some point while I'm saying this that tells you where to find it. And you
Isahawk, ISAWHKO, Hawk Box. There's Isahawk.
Yeah, but you just spelled hawk wrong.
How would I say?
You said WAHK.
Yeah, that's totally right.
Isahawk.
Yeah.
No,
what's wrong with that?
It's cool.
Okay, hold on.
But you said,
so you're telling me Hooked on Phonics did not work for me?
I don't think so.
But the monkey and Hooked on Phonics, you know what? I have a stronger word email to write a little bit later.
Okay. You were saying, though, you think you've seen a couple other things that company's done, maybe?
Yeah, so I saw a couple other, because I was going through their YouTube channel. They had a couple other videos.
Okay.
Not just Nightwing Series 1. They also have a commentary and deleted scenes for every episode as
Right.
well.
I saw that.
And they have a couple other things also on their network. I wish I could remember what they were, but I don't remember.
Right. Again, we'll have it down here. You guys should go check it out. They've got a Facebook page for their company too, and they've got a few, I think a few dozen thousand likes. So
that's awesome.
They've got a lot of views. So it's good when you can see people out there that are passionate about something and can put something good together.
I mean,
that.
It's better than anything I could do, and
Right.
I really appreciate the quality. In the first
obviously
episode.
you guys can see our production value here.
Which, to be fair, we actually do have like professional cameras and lights and stuff.
Right.
We're just not very good using that.
Yeah. But that's what you do, right? You buy all the expensive equipment, and then you're supposed to do it itself.
Yeah, no, it's. Do we need to change the default settings? Like, that's just.
No. I think as long as that red light's blinking, we're good.
Then we're solid.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so did you watch anything else?
I've been watching the F word. Not the obscenity that we tend to say on here explicitly. Hence, that probably we're going to get an explicit on iTunes.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, I know, right? But no, the F word, another Gordon Ramsay show, because I am an addict. And it takes place, it's one of his British shows where he takes over a kitchen. It's built specifically for this show. And it's half takes place in the kitchen, half takes place in his real life. And this crusade he was on, it's about 5 years old, the show. His crusade was to get women back in the kitchen, which
Just gonna drink this.
raised a lot of controversy. But if you hear him talk about it, it's a really solid point.
It's essentially a social commentary on the fact that all the chefs that are widely known are men.
No.
Ah.
It is the fact that, and he'll even be honest, he's like, women cook better than men because, I don't remember what specifically he said, and I'm not as articulate as he is in his screamings, but he was just saying, like, they have, for some reason, he's noticed that women have a more advanced palate of detection of different flavors than men do.
Okay.
So they are essentially inherently better cooks for that reason alone. But they've gotten away from the kitchen, and they interview some women about why aren't you cooking anymore? And some of the answers, I'm like, oh, that's spot on. And some of them are like, you heinous bitch. So like one of the answers, this woman was like, you know, we were promised in the 70s that we would have it all, and now we don't have it all. We have to do it all. And I don't want to come home and cook. So his response was, okay, do you go to the gym? She goes, well, yeah, I go to the gym all the time. He goes, well, let's look through your fridge. It's filled with junk food, it's filled with preservatives, ready-to-made meals, like all this horrible food. If you only spent 15, 20 minutes cooking actual food and cut this stuff out, you can cut down your gym time and you're going to be healthier and you're going to enjoy it because it is a way to unwind after work.
Right.
And it's not like he's anti-women by any means. Like, he was definitely not taking a dig at women. It was just the stance he was making because he did a wide interview of people, and the interview came back. I'm sorry, not interview. The poll came back. The majority of women in this town, in this, like, I guess not town, but this suburb of London, didn't cook.
Okay.
Like, and he's going through all these fridges. It's like, all just like frozen, like Hungry Man meals, and it's gross. So he's just trying to teach them like quick, simple, fast, good recipes to make that they can make at home to get back in the kitchen.
Got it.
And it's not even like, well, you're a wife, you should cook. Some of them are single women.
Right.
Some of them are wives. Like, some of them, like, their husbands are rugby players, so they're always gone. So the wives are by themselves, and they just like. So there's different reasons that he's doing this campaign. It took a lot of flack when it happened. They mention it quite often on the show, and if you look it up, and you read everything that happened at the time, he did catch a lot of flack for it, which you would imagine you would for that type of commentary.
Right.
So that's half the show. The other half of the show takes place in the kitchen where he's just making the recipes for the guests that are in the kitchen that he's teaching to these women to make at home.
Okay.
So it's all food you can make at home. And then it has every episode has a different celebrity from the UK in it that makes a dessert, and he makes a dessert, and it goes up to a blind taste test, and whoever wins is the dessert they serve to the whole restaurant.
Okay.
So the first season, we had obviously the kitchen stuff, the campaign to get women back on track, and then he wanted to teach his kids where food comes from. So it's Christmas dinner is coming up. So he bought 5 baby turkeys.
Oh, geez.
And they've been raising them. And it is now time for them to go to butcher. So there's one episode left in this season where they kill them and eat them. And it's so funny because you see the kids like holding the turkeys and cuddling them and like kissing with them and playing with them. And the turkeys, like the kids will run up to them and like turkeys don't care anymore. They're like, we know exactly what's going on. The kids pick them up, they play with them. And he's like, well, now. So now he kind of had to cut back on their interaction because they're getting too close to the turkeys. So he tells his wife, he's like, well, maybe we can just keep 2 for the kids. And she was against the idea from the get-go.
Oh, of course.
She's like, they're dirty, they're stinky, they're all gone. So now the kids are excited to eat them. So now they're choosing in which order they're going to eat the turkeys. So he's got 5 kids. They're all under the age of 8. And like the little girls are like, I want to eat Gary first. And he's like, why do you want to eat Gary first? Because he walks funny and I think he'll taste funny. You're like, what? It's awesome. So yeah, I've been watching The F Word.
Okay. Nice.
What about you? Any other shows you've been watching?
Really, this last week was super busy for me. So the only other show that I watched or started watching is from Netflix on DVD. I got the first disc of the 1973 Super Friends.
Yes.
Oh, this just takes me back to my childhood.
Oh my god.
This is the thing that and I watched it on Saturday morning.
Yep.
And
well, he's not that old. You watched the rerun Saturday morning.
Well, yeah, no, yeah. But I'm saying this disc I also watched on Saturday morning.
Oh yeah.
So it's perfect. I did not have my bowl of cereal in front of me.
I was going to ask for you in PJs and a bowl of cereal.
No. I thought about it, but no. And I forgot. Obviously, it's a campy show. We know that.
Oh, yeah.
But I forgot just how bad it is sometimes. Like, Batman's sitting there cracking jokes. And I'm like, no, that's not Batman.
It was back then, though.
But it was, yeah. Because this was before Frank Miller got them all super grim and gritty again.
Yep.
This was back when he was still gallivanting around with, like, aliens and stuff. So
for those of you who aren't familiar with the arc of Batman's darkness, he started off kind of dark, and he got darker and darker and darker, and the fans were like, ooh, too dark. That's why they introduced Robin. It really livened up the character.
yeah, he stopped carrying a gun then.
Yeah, he stopped carrying the gun, which most of you probably don't know. Batman rocked his sidearm for a good portion of time.
Yeah, he did. He's anti-gun now, but come on.
Well, yeah, he didn't start out that way.
There's a reason they called it the golden era of comics.
He had the golden gun from Bond?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
sweet.
Right?
No, so he got a lot more lighthearted with Robin. If you look at all those covers, like laughing and joking and busting through balloons, like all this funny stuff. And then Frank Miller came along and was like, I'm going to make Batman dark and gritty again. And he did. And ever since, it's kind of been an influx, depending on who's writing it. But always stays more towards the dark side, Robin on the lively side.
Yeah.
And then also, Death in the Family had a big portion to do with that.
Right.
When Jason Todd got murdered, he definitely went dark, and that was Silver. Does that considered Silver Age? Death in the Family?
Bronze. Because that was late 80s.
Yeah. So okay. Just want to make sure.
Age, yeah.
So at that point is kind of where he's been now more consistently dark.
Right.
And he does have his peaks and valleys, but always stays on that dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that I did find funny is I totally forgot about what was her name? Wendy and what was the guy's name? They essentially had 2 teenagers that hung out in the Hall of Justice.
Yeah, the kids.
Yeah, with Wonder Dog.
Yeah. I don't remember their names. I can picture them, though.
Wendy and something. I don't remember. But I forgot about them, and I'm like, oh, it's essentially just 2 characters from Scooby-Doo hanging out.
Yeah.
And then so Wonder Woman historically has something she flies around in, right?
The invisible jet.
Yeah, that's not what it's called on the show. It bugs the crap out of me.
Hold on, what do they call it?
The transparent plane. Right? Like, no, it is a goddamn invisible jet.
Transparent plane.
Even going back to,
Uh-oh.
Well, I was gonna say even going back to the '70s Wonder Woman TV show, but I just realized that was after.
That was after this.
Oh. But there is a funny scene where Aquaman and Wonder Woman have to go fly somewhere in the transparent plane.
Yes.
Aquaman's flying the plane.
Aquaman's flying her plane.
Yeah, like how stereotypically douchebag that word
Misogynistic.
Yeah. How that's totally like, hey, Wonder Woman, we need to take your plane, but you sit shotgun. I'm gonna fly this thing.
But to be fair, somebody had to make his Manhattan.
Right?
That just makes sense to me.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the other show I watched.
That's awesome. Be careful. I advise you all, a serious note, if you will. I advise you all on watching cartoons from your childhood. Does not always turn out to be laughs. Sometimes it shatters your childhood. I went back and watched a show called Silverhawks. Now, growing up, I don't know if you guys would have guessed, I was that kid who wore the Superman pajamas with a towel as a cape, and I even had red boots. Like, they were red cowboy boots, but fuck it, I was going to wear red boots with my cape and Superman pajamas. So I remember the Silverhawks being amazing. Like,
you remember it way different than I do.
So I remember it being amazing.
Yeah.
And I watched it like 5 years ago. I'm like, oh my God. Like 7 years of my childhood just crumbled in front of me with how bad it was. So a word of advice, tread lightly. Sometimes the memories are better than the truth.
Speaking of things that are terrible, I also watched Green Hornet.
Oh!
Because as I've mentioned before, I have a shit ton of stuff on my Netflix queue, even my DVD queue. And I went at one point, Netflix has all their weird specific categories. And I went into the one that was movies related on comics. And I went and I added everything. I've deleted a bunch of that stuff since then because I realized I don't need to waste my time on that.
Didn't delete Green Hornet.
I didn't, because it was one of those things that it was recent enough to where it wouldn't be as bad as The Phantom.
The Billy Zane Phantom?
Yeah.
Better than Green Hornet.
They're about on par.
I disagree.
Okay.
I mean, it's not saying it doesn't trump Green Hornet,
right,
but at least 0.5 better.
On a scale of 1,000, yeah. So yeah, I watched it, and it was real bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's really all I can say. There's not a single redeeming moment in that entire movie.
I left the movie theater thinking I just watched Pineapple Express with a different cast.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, it was bad.
Right.
Oh, so bad. And I saw that opening night.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Another movie I'm probably going to watch opening night this weekend. Another movie you'll probably watch this weekend. I will probably watch
this also.
It's going to be Hunger Games Mockingjay. Part 1. Yeah.
Now, I'm assuming you've watched the first
Yes.
2?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Okay. Not a fan.
No, I can't say I'm a fan. And here's what bothers me about this. The whole fucking premise doesn't make sense to me. It's the same reason I didn't like The Giver. The whole premise doesn't make fucking sense to me. So there's a revolution. You have a government that puts people in fractions, makes them sacrifice their children. Mm-hmm. And the person who they decide to revolt and stand up with is a 16-year-old girl?
Yeah, no, I don't see what's wrong with this.
Okay. So let me just walk you through this. Maybe somebody who has tactical military training. If you're going to start a revolution, you might want to follow behind one of them.
But she's not the one calling the shots. She's the figurehead. But she's not. It's not like, hey, Katniss, how do we go about killing these people?
Who inspired the revolution to finally make them call the shots?
She inspired it, but she's not leading it.
That's
she gave them somebody to rally behind and also do all the dirty work behind.
Okay. The thing that bothers me so much is really how did it get so bad? First off, if you want me to believe this universe, you got to give me a reason besides, they sacrificed a kid every year, that they didn't fucking start another revolution. You know what I mean? if you see how many guards they are compared to citizens, that is one militia to just take those fuckers down.
Yeah, but you look at, not to try to ground this too much in the real world, because I know it's not.
Okay.
But you look at some of these countries around the world that do have dictators. There's way more of the country's population than there is people in the dictating party. So it's the same thing. Why not have everybody that's being?
I don't get that either. Like, that blows my mind, and it may be because I'm all about fucking violence. I don't know, but I'm all about, like, if I'm not in bed with them, I will fucking start and overthrow something. Like, it boggles my mind why you would accept that kind of oppression for so long. I just cannot grasp that concept. Like, not to quote a good movie, but I'd rather live free or die hard. Yes.
Well, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
But you know what I mean?
No, yeah, I get it. And it's, I mean, come on, we're in America here. We kind of have a better life than a lot of people, so.
How dare you? You know the adversity I'm fighting right now. My FedEx package didn't get delivered properly. Okay? That is a pain you don't understand, Jay. I have to have Starbucks grind my beans for me until my grinder gets in.
Okay, you have my sympathy. I get it.
God! And to bring something like that up on air. Can we just please talk about something I love, like comic books, before I just...
I say yes.
All right.
What do you got over there?
Oh, my God. So it was a big...
Did you leave anything in the store when you left?
It was a big week this week. The last 2 weeks were a little small, so they...
Right, you only had like 12 books left.
So they compensated it for this week. So, we got these on the table using a pallet jack. I got Amazing Spider-Man, Avengers, Daredevil, which I'm going to talk something about, Guardians of the Galaxy, Inhuman, Magneto, Storm, Spider-Woman #1. Not because I care about Jessica Drew, but what is the little thing I need to say? It's fucking part of the Spider-Verse. Uncanny X-Men, X-Force, Futurama, Earth 2 World's End, Justice League, New Avengers, Green Lantern New Guardians, and the New 52 Future's End.
Okay.
What is that look you got going on there, buddy?
It's a lot of books. It must be nice to not have to actually do any work when you're at work.
I'll have you know, despite my lackadaisical approach today, yesterday was a shit busy day. Like, I worked all through the night.
Okay.
Like, I got to the comic book store. I walked in the comic book store. I reached into the fridge and grabbed a bottle of water. I went to the far table, set up my laptop. I'm like, you guys call me when you're ready to do the pulls. I got some work to do. I just worked away.
All right.
So, again, please, let's not draw attention to my heinous life that I have to live. God, the pain. It's so overwhelming.
Okay. For me, I haven't got around to buying my digitals yet this week. That'll probably happen this weekend. So I have just 4 comics, which I guess is still about normal for me.
Well, I mean, you usually have 4 digital and print. So for you, this is also still a big week.
Right, yeah. So I also got Magneto, and Green Lantern New Guardians. I also got Supergirl, which I'm excited about this one. And finally, a new issue of Invincible came out. It's been a few months. I thought maybe they canceled it and didn't let anybody know.
They just renamed it Kirkman. But no, it's still called Invincible?
It is,
cool.
Yeah. His name is on it, though. Yeah. But that is not Invincible on the cover.
I noticed that they use first and last name on their covers, where most companies don't.
Right.
I'm wondering if they did that just so they can have Robert Kirkman instead of just Kirkman.
No, I think that's normal in most Image comics.
Is it?
Maybe not.
I don't get
maybe
very many Image.
Maybe it's his imprint, because Kirkman does have an imprint Image.
Yep.
Called Skybound, so maybe that's a Skybound thing.
It's like I don't get enough Image to know. Although, guess what I have coming for me? Every single issue of Alex and Ada. I returned the trade paperback, and I'm going strict single issues here, buddy.
I have to find a new copy of 6 and 7.
I can get you some.
Okay. I did one of those things that I hate doing. I lent them to somebody who then promptly fell off the edge of the earth.
It's a horrible thing to happen.
It is. And I've read them. So, I mean, yes, I would like to have them again to fill the collection back in. More importantly, Jessica has not read those ones. She's stuck right there.
Oh, so she's at an impasse.
Yeah. And I actually popped into a couple places this weekend to try to find a couple copies. And they're...
For me, 1 through 5 is all second prints. And then, which I don't mind, because I'm looking forward to it. I always see it come up. I'm like, I got to wait for the trade. Okay, I'm not waiting for the trade.
No, don't do it.
Okay, speaking of not waiting for the trade, all these books, but something you can't get in trade is the weekly comics. Not that they don't release them in trades, they're going to. There's just so much going on, and it interjects into so many books. I can't wait for the trade on this.
Okay.
Future's End's been really good. I can't bring you up to speed on 30 issues. It's just too much. But essentially, it takes 5 years in the future. A lot of our heroes are dead from the Apocalypse War. Brainiac created Brother Eye, which is now taking over all the electronics in the world. Batman Beyond from the future came to here to try to stop all of it. And he's kind of making a ragtag group of heroes while there's a bunch of other side storylines going on. In this particular issue, all the Titans died, except for Red Robin. The world thought he was dead, but he survived, and he decided, I can't be a hero anymore. Like, this is killing me.
Okay.
So he opens a bar, changes his name to Cal, which I'm assuming is in honor of Superboy.
Okay.
So his girlfriend finds out, Lois Lane finds out who he is, and he realizes, I have to tell my girlfriend. Like, Lois is pushing him. She has to know the truth. So he tells her. She's like, what? How could you lie to me? You know my deal with lying. I'm out. So she leaves him. She starts going to hang out with Ronnie, which is one half of Firestorm.
Right.
Because they all go to they're all in the same neighborhood.
Okay.
Same college. So she starts hanging out with Ronnie. Weird things happen. She's now one half of Firestorm. And Tim Drake thinks that she's dead. I know that synopsis sounded kind of... Obviously, it's a lot because it's 30 issues. It's been super good.
Okay.
Like, it comes out every week. I read it the day it comes out every week. Like, I am stoked for this book. And I'm super excited that I'm just past the halfway mark. I really want to see how it wraps up. Like, I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay.
So, if you don't read other comic books, if you don't get stuff in single issue, pick it up in the trade. It's a lot of fun. I always like the Elseworld stories anyways. I like things that they don't have to be in our dimension, so that one I was cool with. So, yeah, that's Future's End.
Cool. So the first one I want to talk about is Invincible. Like I said, it's been a while since this came out, so I wasn't really sure. I went and grabbed from my box today, and my comic guy was like, hey, look what's finally here. This comic, it's at issue 115. So we're talking years and years and years of story. And it's been a really good story the whole time.
No drop-off points yet?
No. And that's the thing. It's you'll get to the end of kind of an event, and you'll be like, okay, so we're probably going to be in a lull now. No, it just picks up. There's 2 or 3 issues until the next big thing happens. So to me, it's been great the whole time. Kirkman's wrote it the entire time. Ryan Otley's done the art for the majority of the time also. And I love his art in here. Along with Hi-Fi is doing the colors right now. Hi-Fi is a company, so it's going to be consistent every time. This issue, we just kind of got over one storyline. So this is kind of like a filler issue. You've got this person who's on the cover called Battle Beast. He is somebody that's in the...
No.
it looked like you were going to say something. He's somebody that's been in the Kirkman universe for a while. He's just this big warrior guy. That his whole thing is trying to find somebody who can beat him in battle. And so far, that has not happened.
He looks like a character from He-Man and Masters of the Universe.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So in this issue, it's essentially a giant fight between him and this guy who used to be the leader of the Viltrumites.
Isn't that Invincible's dad?
It is not. It looks a lot like.
Yeah, it looks just like him.
It looks like Nolan, but it's not. A lot of the Viltrumites kind of look the same. The big mustache.
Oh, are they all the same race?
Yeah.
So they're like the Kryptonians.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So he was the leader of the Viltrumite Empire, which is this big, just superpower empire. Battle Beast goes and finds him. This guy's now exiled on another planet because Invincible's dad has taken back over control of the empire.
Okay.
So this guy's on just some random planet hanging out. Battle Beast goes to find him. He's like, I've been searching my entire life for somebody who can beat me in battle. That's my entire thing I want. I was bred to fight, and I want to die with honor on the battlefield. and I think you may be the person that can finally give me that satisfaction.
And does he?
Well, the problem is Battle Beast is working with some other organization, and they drop all these other monsters on the planet called the Ragnars to try to just kill the guy.
Oh.
Because they want to make sure he's dead. They're not completely sure that Battle Beast can do it, so they just interfere, and they try to...
Well, that's...
Yeah, so Battle Beast is like, no. That's not how this is supposed to go down.
We had an agreement.
So then he starts attacking some of the Ragnars also, and they defeat them all together. Because both of them are very proud warriors. They want to fight each other. So then there's this...
They would also prefer to live free or die hard.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, see?
So then there's a scene in here where...
Does that mean I'm like Battle Beast?
Exactly.
Oh my god, I'm a hero, people.
Battle Beast takes his giant Corvus sword and cuts himself. Because, like, I want this to be even.
Seriously?
You've been
That's
damaged.
pretty hardcore.
You've been damaged. I want this to be a fair fight. So I'm going to hurt myself, and we're going to go at each other both injured. It's the closest thing to even we're going to get right now. So then the next few pages are just a giant battle between them. And it's pretty intense. One of the things that this book has always done is very bloody, very graphic fights.
Seriously.
And then you find out at the end that the Viltrumite has been mating with this other race to produce even more babies.
Okay, but hold on. So they have human-looking babies with praying mantis people?
Yes. I'm assuming they'll probably take some more characteristics of the praying mantises as they get older. But so he's essentially making his own army of Viltrumite warriors.
Because South Park taught me that pig and elephant DNA just don't splice. And I thought Viltrumite and praying mantis people was the same way.
No.
Apparently, I'm mistaken.
Viltrumites can apparently mate with anybody. So
call me, then. I would like a super child.
Invincible has a younger brother who his dad mated with somebody on another planet while he was in exile. So his younger brother started out looking kind of humanish, and now he's got more of like a blue skin tone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I read the first trade of Invincible. I may have said this. Couldn't get behind the first trade.
Okay.
But I hear people talk about it. I'm like, oh, that sounds like it'd be really fun. A lot of good.
I think one of the things that has... I sat down and I read the first 50 issues over a week.
Okay.
So I was just gung-ho from the beginning. And I think one of the things that really keeps me coming back is the fact that, like I said, this is issue 115. So Kirkman's really, really built a world. He's really developed these characters to where you really care about Mark Grayson, Invincible, and you really care about his wife, Adam Eve, and you really care about his parents. Like, he's made you actually care about these characters because it hasn't been, oh, yeah, I've got this book, and it's part of this giant storyline over here, and oh, no, we're going to drag it over, and it's going to be part of this.
No, it's a cohesive story in itself.
Yeah.
There's a couple sides titles,
yeah.
but...
And, I mean, he interacts with other people in the Skybound universe, but it's not like... I have to buy Invincible and these 18 other books to understand the one mega event that's going on.
Right. He was in Image Unity, but it doesn't take place in Invincible.
Right.
Now, I will say, you speak very passionately about Invincible, and people who are fans about Invincible speak more passionately about that. Now, Walking Dead's, I think, only at issue 106, 107, and you would be hard to press to find people who've read the whole thing and still say, as good as it was. Everyone's all like...
Right. And I think one of the issues with that is... The nature of that story.
Sure, it's very limited. It's very limited.
What are you going to do? And I was listening to some people talk about this earlier today even. It's in the comics, you're up to issue 105, 106, whatever it is, and they're still in Georgia. Like, we've spent 10 or 11 years now with them hanging out in Georgia.
Hey, that means we still have about another 500 issues and 40 states to go, baby.
Yeah. And every big bad that they meet has to be bigger and badder than last.
Right.
And every new good person they meet has to have something to make them different than everybody else.
They need to be more flawed and this.
Yeah, so
and that,
there's a ceiling there. Like, really, there's not... What new stories are they going to be able to tell other than, oh, we found another person who likes to kill people, or, oh, we got chased by walkers again?
No, I understand. Yeah, I'd be interested to see where Invincible goes. I might pick up a second trade. I don't know.
Okay. I have all the singles, if you want to read it in single. Either way.
Let me get back to you on that.
Yeah.
I do have a couple books to get through.
Yeah.
One book I am looking forward to get through that you're not is Green Lantern New Guardians number 36, which is Act 2, Part 5 of Godhead. I will say this I want to touch on it really quickly before I move along to to gripe about another book if we have time. But the thing about about Godhead that I've been enjoying is everything. I know you're not.
I'm not. No.
So in this issue, Kyle gives up the white ring, gives it to the High Father, thinking he's going to use it for good. Realizes he's a freaking egomaniac.
Right.
And now he's got no choice. He's stuck on New Genesis. He's got to figure something out. It's just him and Carol. What I want to see happen in this book
Is Kyle die? Yes.
You're so lucky. I'm so lethargic from that Hawks box. Like, I was going to ball up a fist, but I was like, oh, maybe tomorrow. I love Green Lantern. I love Kyle. They need to cull this shit down. They need to remove some lanterns in some of the titles.
Yeah.
So we know after Godhead is over, the Guardians go back in charge of the Green Lantern Corps. Hal's no longer in charge. He goes back to Earth.
Right.
We also realize that the Guardians are from the same universe as the High Father, Darkseid. They're from that outer universe that's outside of everything else.
Okay.
We learned that in this issue. So what I would like to see is Kyle not get his White Lantern ring back.
Absolutely.
I want to see them end New Guardians. He becomes a Green Lantern again.
Or not a lantern at all.
I want him to see Green Lantern, but they do need to cull down the lanterns. So they need to get rid of Simon, John, or Kyle. I don't want them to see them get rid of Kyle, but they need to cull it down. So in my ideal world, he doesn't get the White Lantern ring back. It's too powerful anyways. He gets a green, or what I would really love
As a yellow?
is a blue.
Okay.
Because him and Saint Walk are super tight.
No, that makes sense.
And I think that'd be really cool. So that way we lose a Green Lantern title. There's not so much going on, although it has been solicited to take place after Godhead. So I know I'm kind of reaching on that. But I think that'd be really cool. It would really shake things up a little bit. Not going to happen. I'm okay with that because I'm still enjoying Godhead.
Okay. So the other one I want to talk about tonight is Supergirl. I feel like we got this glimpse in Future's End Supergirl of this potential of her being part of this team of alpha specimens that goes around, and I guess they're kind of like a peacekeeping corps again, if you want to think about it that way.
Yeah.
But it's a group. It's an intergalactic team of beings that go around and kind of try to help people in need.
So they're kind of like decided it's just a bunch of ragtag people going to get together and maybe guard the galaxy.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I
they might have like a small mammal-y creature in there.
It sounds original.
Right, yeah. What was the last original comic you read, really? No.
Futurama.
Oh, you mean the comic that's based off of a TV show? Super original. Yeah. Anyways, so one of the things I've talked about this before. I've always had this interest in the Supergirl concept. I think they haven't known what to do with her in the last 3 years.
Absolutely.
And I think this is good. This is going to give her purpose. One of the things they've done over the years, quite a few times, is link her up with like the Legion,
which was awesome.
Yeah.
When she was with the Legion of Superheroes. Yeah.
So this is going to be like a modern day Legion, sort of. It's going to be people from these different races, or not races. What am I looking for? Species? Yeah. From around the universe that are going to be trained at this facility, and then they can go around and be doing all these intergalactic adventures. I think that's good. I think she works good as part of a team.
She absolutely
more
does.
than she does as an individual person, which
I agree with you. In fact, I would love to see Superman off the Justice League book and her on.
well, and she's been supposedly part of Justice League United. I haven't been reading that book.
Nah.
Yeah. So, so this issue starts out. She is back on Earth after being a Red Lantern for a while. She's got all these memories that are kind of screwing with her head. She's having flashbacks while she's working her job at a cafe as a barista, which is a little weird.
You know, it's not weird because everyone needs to have their day job.
Right, but it's just, how does she randomly get this job?
Oh, really? Because not every Starbucks in the world is hiring?
But I mean, like, why is there not a story? This is just nitpicking. Why is there not a story of her, like, I need something to do now?
Here's the funny anecdote during her interview, and it was kind of hilarious.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Just so she's randomly back on Earth after being a Red Lantern, and now she's working at a Starbucks type place. Anyways, she has a customer come in line, and I didn't recognize who it was at first. I thought it was just some random coffeehouse hipster, but it's Clark with a beard.
Yes.
And I'm like, when did Clark get a beard?
About 2 issues ago.
Yeah. Not in this.
No, in the Jeff Johns Superman title.
Right, which I'm not reading.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird to me. So they have a weird thing. Apparently he's all anti-hero now. Like, he's like, in this he's saying, do we actually do any good, or are we doing more harm than we are good?
Thanks, Jeff Johns.
So that's weird.
Dick.
But yeah, so then she goes back to work, whatever. And then you see that she's being watched by some people in some control tower somewhere. And then she gets teleported to some random planet.
With a super cool outfit and visor.
Yeah, they give her a new uniform here. And she's got like a booster gold yellow visor going on. Which is, it's weird. She's got all these weird tech look. It kind of reminds me of something from like 90s Marvel, maybe.
Yeah.
Less patches, more
glows.
Yeah. But so she's on this planet. She's being tested. She can't see through any of the trees here like she can on Earth, so that's weird. She can't use some of her powers. And there's somebody that she can't see that keeps hitting her. But she's like, oh, I got super hearing. I'll just listen and figure out where he is. So she starts using her powers in different ways to try to figure out where these people that are testing her are. And it's really good. At the end of it, she gets... the test ends up ending, and she gets put in this room with the people that have been attacking her, and they essentially say, you're here at this academy. We want to train you to actually be as good as you could be. All the people that you were just facing your test were using a fraction of their abilities. And you also use a fraction of your abilities. You could be so much more powerful than you are. What I want to see happen from this is her get trained and actually be better than Superman.
I don't want to see her better than Superman, because I love me some Clark Kent, pre-DCNU. But I would totally be happy to see her becoming some badass throughout the universe.
Right.
There's no reason she shouldn't be.
I think my thing is, she is now getting trained by people that aren't from Earth.
Yeah.
Whereas most of Superman's training has been, this is what you can do here on Earth. So as powerful and as amazing as he is, he's still limited to the thought process of an Earthling.
I get what you're saying. I think it would be cool if maybe she was a better fighter than he was. Like, if she had some sort of upper hand over him. Totally on board with that. And I'm really interested in that. I think that's kind of cool.
So that's where this one's going. I'm super excited for it. Like I said, I've read all 36 issues of this Supergirl run, and all of the issues, I think it was like 50 some odd issues pre-DCNU after she came back.
I think low 60s. But yeah,
It
right
might have
around
got
there,
up to
50s to 60s.
I know like Green Lantern got up to about 65, 66 before.
Something like that before they switch over.
And I think her comic started a little after that.
Yeah.
So obviously there's been really good stories with her in the last few years, but I want to say in the last 15 issues, it hasn't been anything impressive. So I'm glad to see them going in a direction that they're going to be able to develop her in a different way.
Well, good. I always look, they remade the universe to try new things. I'm glad they're finally trying new things.
Right.
Like,
it's 3
cool.
years later.
And look, it takes a little bit of time. Speaking of time, we're running out of time. So to recap, don't read X-Force. Do read Daredevil. Have a great week, you guys.
See you next time.
Bye.